Secular flow. Hi humans, how are you doing? I hope you're great. Welcome to my channel. I'm Chojas, an international artist based in Raleigh, North Carolina. Today, I'd like to introduce my latest painting to you, Secular Flow. It's a 36 by 40 inch oil painting on canvas, my largest painting to date. I once created a mural that was 8 by 10 feet, but technically, that's not a painting. I've been thinking about working on larger scales for a long time, and creating this painting has given me a taste for it. I'm considering moving to my studio to the garage and starting on a gigantic piece. Secular flow is about the flow state of our routines and everyday lives. The flow state is mostly associated to a positive and even perhaps a spiritual state, but that is not the vision I'm attempting to convey in this painting. That more conventionally held vision of flow, a sort of mystical state you tap into when you're experiencing or exercising an activity that you're passionate about. That notion of flow is normally associated to feeling very focused, as if the rest of the world ceased to exist, a state in which one loses track of time, disconnects from bodily sensations, and for some, it implies a connection to something beyond the physical world. Many artists consider this the state art should be created in and the way to find inspiration and be open to the whispers of some muse. But that interpretation of flow is not the one my paintbrush wanted to convey. I find that true flow is actually more interesting, more achievable, and more life-changing. I see flow as a state that isn't necessarily a magical experience, but a neurological one, which is pretty magical, honestly. And it happens, according to my research and books, when you're doing something you're familiar with, something that is common practice to you, but pushing it just a bit further. So it has to be in that sweet spot where the activity is something you have some mastery of, some experience in, but you're pushing yourself a bit out of the comfort zone you have reached within your skill. That is, the task at hand, the usual practice, but challenged with just the perfect amount of defiance, the sweet spot, where you're not excessively demanding your frontal lobe to be overly connected, rationalizing everything and judging the work incessantly, but also not so unchallenging that you go into automatic mode, offering no opportunity to break away from the comfortable mold that allows you to carry on without much focus or thought. I think that it is between those two extremes that this unmagical magic happens. Flow state can be incredibly healing to our body and to our minds. I also think that what can be achieved in a flow state isn't comparable to that which can be achieved by passion, thought, or practice alone. And in my humble opinion, it is the best way to promote self-growth or your craft or profession. A self-satisfaction that is, after all, what we aim for. It is part of human nature. When we are in a flow state, we can do things or create things that we probably wouldn't be able to if we were out of that state. Let's say in a more conscious state. In flow, your brain is more able to connect thoughts and solve things, create new things, or even just be more proficient than we could otherwise be. Because of the neural waves our brain goes into when in a flow state, we also feel better. There's less internal chatter, more calm, and feel more energized afterwards. Also, we very likely will feel more accomplished and somewhat proud at seeing what we were able to achieve by pushing ourselves just a bit further. This art piece intends to question the type of activities generally considered apt for easing us into this state. Usually, when we think of flow, we think of things like musicians, artists, writers, or athletes. Maybe if we're open enough, we could consider professionals at work, a doctor during surgery, or a lawyer in court. But couldn't life itself, or more so, our routine, our daily life, get us into flow too, allowing us to be more present, healthier, and in constant growth, pushing our limits? I think that if we strive to live a life curated by ourselves, in which we intend to be present and make the most of it, then that life itself can be our craft to master. If we challenge ourselves just a little bit with each daily routine activity, won't we slowly but surely conquer new horizons, opening the door to a true flow? a secular flow. I wanted to finish off reading a quote of the book The Art of Impossible by Steven Kotler, which was one of the first books I read about flow and opened my perception about it. And I very much recommend you reading this book, whatever life path you are in. And the quote says, "The ecstasy of flow redeems the agony of passion. If flow is our reward for perseverance, because flow is such a gargantuan reward, we're willing to tolerate a lot of pain along the way." And I'm gonna read another passage that I think maybe speaks more to what I was talking about and I liked a lot. And it says, "Flow is built around automatic processing, but automatization requires work. You master skills slowly and consciously before the brain can execute flawlessly and unconsciously. And to really cultivate flow in your life, build these triggers into every facet of your life. Train risk, seek out novelty, tighten feedback loops, keep the pattern recognition system stocked with information so the creativity trigger is always close at hand. Play always say yes games in your personal relationships. Practice ego blending in every conversation you fall into, and on and on." And with that, I'm gonna leave you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and this painting. I definitely did push myself out of my comfort zone. I definitely let my creativity speak to me in this one. And I definitely also used the skills that I have worked enough on to automatically have at my disposal at this point to seek this new horizon. And that being said, if you like this painting, I will have the original available on my Etsy shop, and I already have prints available in my Redbubble shop. You can find both those links in the description below. If you liked this video and want to see more of my work and my thoughts and me, then make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I would love to know your opinion. Leave it in the comments. I would love to chat with you. Have a great rest of your day, and bye humans.